Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Ayotte. I'm a staff member in the Office of Learning Services, and I've been working on campus since 2016. And I'm here to show you a little bit about an AI tool called Pi. Um, and one of the ways that I use it is to kind of help myself get over some writing hurdles. To help my work be a little more efficient. So I have what you would see if you went to Pi AI. I have that up on my screen. And you can see it starts out in a friendly conversational way, asking, how's your day going? Letting you know they're here to be useful. Um, I do have an account, so I'm going to sign in so I can show you some of the things that I've used it for. Um, and then when you sign in, you can see all these different options of ways you can use Pi to explore different things. So you may want to check that out later. One of the things I really like about Pi, it's a warm and friendly interface, and it's very conversational. So, if you like to have somebody to brainstorm with, but you don't have a person right there to do it with, that's one of the reasons I like to use Pi to kind of like brainstorm back and forth. Um, so one of the things I want to show you is Pi can talk to you. So to make it accessible, you can read it, you can also listen to it. So I'm going to show you some of the voice options. I'm going to go to one of my conversation threads, September 10th. I'll just use this to show you what the voices sound like. Okay.
Absolutely, Allison. Socratic questioning is a fantastic way to engage students and encourage critical thinking. Here are some open-ended questions to help you.
Absolutely, Allison. Socratic questioning is a fantastic way to engage students and encourage critical thinking. Here are some.
Absolutely, Allison. Socratic questioning is a fantastic way to engage students and encourage critical.
So there's 8 different voice options. I like voices 1, 2, and 6 the best. So that's why I showed those to you. Okay. One of the things that I've used Pi a lot for is for workshop planning and also writing workshop descriptions. So I'm going to show you this one. I did a series for Laker Thrive last fall called Mindful Mondays, and I used this tool to help me come up with a workshop description. Okay. So I prompted it with what I wanted to do, offering a monthly wellness series at lunchtime for employees here. I had decided on my title, Mindful Mondays, and I let it know that the point is for participants to become more mindfully aware of what is going on in their minds and bodies so they can use that awareness to help them improve their well-being. And I gave it some examples of, um, discussion prompts that I might use in the workshop. And then it gave me some suggestions of things that I could do. Okay. And then I asked it to help me write a description because I had kind of an idea of what I wanted to do, but I was trying to figure out how can I concisely communicate this to employees who don't have a time to read a lengthy email or lengthy description about it. So it gave me a description. And I was pretty happy with that. So I took that description and then I tweaked it myself and then used it to promote the workshop series. Another one that I recently used it for is this boundaries workshop. I'm actually doing a workshop for spring breakout on Friday. And I used Pi to help me both write the description and plan the workshop. I actually used this thread to help me write descriptions for 2 workshops. So I'm gonna scroll down here, and this time I needed help getting started with a workshop description. So I let Pi know. Actually, I was using it to describe this current workshop that I'm doing and another one. So I'll start with this one. So for today's workshop, I wanted a 20-minute workshop for faculty and staff, showing how I use Pi to help me get over the hump with some short writing tasks that I have to do as part of my workday, like emails, workshop proposals, workshop descriptions. And I gave it an idea of what I wanted to show you to see how you could use it for brainstorming, processing ideas, revising, and finishing these types of tasks so you can get it checked off your to-do list and move on to other important work. So after prompting it came up with a title and a description for me. So I read the description and I showed it to my colleague, Stephanie Pritchard, to get some feedback. And we agreed that the description that it came up with was pretty good, but it used this phrase, "You'll discover how to leverage the power of AI." And Stephanie let me know that that's a phrase that's getting used a lot by AI tools. And so if you have that phrase in there, it's kind of a hint that yes, you used AI to write this. So I took the description and asked it, I'd like to shorten this a little bit. So could we remove the first sentence and also shorten the second sentence? And I asked it to think of a way to basically, instead of listing all the things that I used it for, to give me a phrase that is representative of those types of examples. And so then after I prompted it with those specific changes that I wanted, it gave me a workshop description that was shorter, more concise, that I felt I could use to communicate what I was trying to do with this workshop. So in the back and forth process, Pi asked me good questions to help me think about what information I needed to give it to help it come up with this description. So one of the things that asked, could you provide me some details? What's the main topic, objective, or goal? Who's the audience? What are some key takeaways you want attendees to gain from the workshop? So again, if I was brainstorming this with a colleague, if I was collaborating with someone, these are questions that another person might ask to help me process. Am I, providing all the details that I need to provide? So that's one of the things that this tool will do for you. Okay. I've also used it for planning workshop content. So I mentioned that I have a workshop that I'm giving on Friday. So not only did I use it to help me brainstorm or come up with a description, I also used it to help me plan some of the content. And I actually did a practice run through of this workshop with my Office of Learning Services colleagues last week or so, and I got some feedback from them. So now I'm going to use their feedback in conjunction with Pi to make some changes. So let me see here. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that I had come up with is ways for people to say no, set boundaries, express their needs and their limits. So Pi came up with a list, an AI generated list of several different strategies people could use to set boundaries. And I think I'm on the wrong list here. Okay, so yeah, it gave me several different things that I could do in the workshop, and one of them was discussing barriers to saying no and setting boundaries. So I thought that would be a good one to use. So further down, I asked it, yes, I definitely want to share experiences and brainstorm strategies and solutions. And I thought people would appreciate some go-to communication strategies to help them say no to something that doesn't align with their values without feeling guilty. So I asked it to help me prepare a list of these strategies. And it came up with a list of 7 strategies. And as I read through them, I thought they were pretty good. But again, this is an AI generated list. And when I shared this list with my colleagues, most of us had a little bit of difficulty with number 3. Yes, we think it's important to be honest and assertive, and clearly express our needs and boundaries in a respectful way. However, some of us felt like it might be a little bit difficult to just say no and leave it at that. So I got some feedback from my colleagues, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask Pi to revise this one a little bit to see if it can come up with something that might work a little bit better for people. So I'm going to prompt it right now. I'm going to say, this approach felt a little bit odd to my colleagues and me. Can you suggest a way to still be honest and direct without just saying no? This sounds a little bit abrupt, especially for the workplace. My colleagues pointed out that they might need to say a little bit more in order to maintain important relationships. Okay, so I'm going to prompt it with that and see what it comes up with. Okay. And one of the things it does, it took me back to my most recent conversation that I had with it. So I have to go back now and go back to the conversation that I'm looking at. Okay, so it says, I understand your concern about using a simple and direct no in the workplace, as it may come across as too abrupt in certain situations. Here are some alternative approaches that still show participants to be honest, assertive, and respectful while providing more context or softening the no. So as I'm preparing my workshop for Friday, I will take a closer look at these suggestions and probably incorporate some of them into my workshop content. Okay. So we're getting close to time. Another thing that I have used this for is to help me write emails. There's certain types of emails that we write a lot, so we kind of have like a go-to template for things that we need to communicate about often. But then there's other things where it might be a unique situation where we haven't really had to like we don't have a draft to go to. So sometimes I do use AI to brainstorm emails as well. I would just suggest being careful not to put anything identifying or anything that could be confidential into the tool. Those things could be added in a little bit later. One of the emails I wrote actually before I had this account, so it didn't save. But I was actually using it for a personal reason. I was proposing a story idea to a magazine. And so I kind of had an idea in mind, but again, I wasn't really sure, how to pitch it to the magazine. Because I hadn't really like talked it through with anybody. So I used Pi to, talk it through back and forth. And then I used it to help me come up with a short email to send to the magazine. So does anybody have any ideas of how they might be able to use this tool for any type of writing that they need to do for any of their work? Let's see if stop sharing my screen. Okay.
It won't work too, so if you well, for the online.
Now I can see the people in the room. Okay. Does anybody have a nagging email they need to write when they've been procrastinating on because it's going to take extra mental energy? Or any like perhaps you're sending an idea to a publication. All right. I see that it's 9:50. It doesn't look like there's any questions online as far as I can see. Jessica, I don't know if you can see any.
Nope, we don't have any.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
So,
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.